Audio test, testing the audio. Seems like it might be a little loud. Audio test, testing the audio. All right, let's go on into the content. How's that looking? Checking my levels. Things look alright. Let me try to get comfortable here. I got the boom mic out for the Diablo stream. You see, I got this mic here in front of my face, but it's bad. So we switched to the boom mic. Seems like audio is working alright. Sounds decent. How's this camera looking? Might could aim it a little more that way. Looking okay. All right, I'm going to close my monitor here and trust that it's working all right. Let's see, I guess I should put on the chat here so I can see it. I really need to add a some kind of overlay so the chat shows up inside of the workflow. But digressing, we're here. This is the 13th workflow live stream, I think, is where we're at. And today we're working once again on the 28mm Marauder video, hoping to finish it up today. I actually have a final project due tomorrow in my Latino art history class, which is going to require my undivided attention to finish up tomorrow. So hopefully we can get this done today. And if so, that would be nice to get this video out. A reminder once more that the workflow live stream here at Country Fried Minis is not our regular content. We're not making pretty models here. This is really just a peek behind the curtain, if you will, so you can see what's going on and going into the creation of these videos. I'm working in Premiere, putting clips together, cutting them down, adding effects. This is definitely a place for people to come and hang out while I do the work that I'm doing anyways. That said, if you have any questions regarding content or the use of Premiere or models, whatever crosses your mind, feel free to drop it in the chat if you're live. And if you're not live, if you're catching this live stream through the algorithm, please by all means drop your comments down below. I read them all and I will respond in kind. Avid viewers of Country Fried Minis workflow live stream sessions will note that the goose is gone. Evidently, the desktop goose creates a problem when I'm running Premiere and OBS that crashes the system. It seems to be tied into all the little images and notepads it opens up. It just, my system don't like it. So that said, welcome back to another workflow live stream. Hopefully we're going to get this thing done today. And actually, now that I think about it, let me set up a separate monitor to the stream so it's a little easier to interact with chat. I'm going to put up the BRB screen for just a moment. I'll be gone for, I don't know, 45 to 60 seconds. Be right back, folks. All right, let's transition back in. I've got the stream back open on my monitor over here. Giving it a listen. Seems a little loud, actually. Not really sure what to do there. I could maybe bring my mic down a bit. Let's try dropping it about 10 decibels. No, that's too low. You know, I think that's just where it lives now. It's this whole live stream thing has been fraught with issues. That seems all right there, and I'm gonna live with it. All right, so I've got the monitor open here. When I say monitor, I actually mean that I open up my laptop so I can monitor the stream health in a separate window. I've got the main monitor right here in front of my face with the camera on it. This is where we're doing the Premiere work. I have the monitor right here to my right, which has got OBS, Discord, all those ancillary stuff going on. And then to my left, I've got a stream monitor, which is just my laptop. So, you know, I can track what I'm doing. Anyhow, and in any case, I hope y'all are doing great today. It looks like we're ready to get rolling and actually get stuck into this work for the afternoon. I'm still getting used to the boom mic, so it's a little difficult to relax and just sit naturally with it here. I mean, it's right there, but it is out of the shot, and that works well. We set it up, I set it up for the stream with Blake on Thursday for the second run of Diablo, which was fraught with troubles. Comcast has this issue that keeps cropping up wherein I lose all my upload speed capability, which, you know, makes a stream undoable. Not like to undo it, but not possible, I should say. Digressing, here we are back in Premiere. I'm going to give y'all a quick review as to where we're at and what the status of episode 2 of the Big Marauder is. So, I've still got to shoot a few shots tonight when the traffic dies down and it's nice and quiet. Usually I get my best film at about 2 a.m. Although even then, at 2 or 3 in the morning, I tend to have loud traffic go by the moment I press the record button. That said, I've got the scripts for the talking heads, and that's where we're at. So, video's going to open with a model teaser of the completed model in low lighting. We're going to cut into the introduction, which involves a talking head and the cut to the Country Fried Minis miniature frying sequence, which is also soon to change over the summer. We're going to reshoot it and spruce it up and give it a little more quality and have it happen a little faster. Video goes in, we do a recap of the previous episode. Then from there, talking head, talking about the stuff. All these clips are just, you know, I find that cutting to the face is a little more engaging. I could very well run this channel as someone who never shows up on camera, but I don't think that's the personality that I'm looking for in a Country Fried Minis video. From here, we talk about removing the ink wash from the previous episode. Talk a little bit more about that briefly. And then, of course, there's this whole sequence here about Colin McLaren himself. What good is a legendary mech without its pilot? So we found a model to work as Colin McLaren. Talk about setting it up and printing it out. We're going to go into priming. We're going to go into base coating. ink washing, all very quick, not too long, just a couple minutes spent on it. It is a full tutorial on painting the model, but not super in-depth, so it's kind of aimed at middling painters, not beginners. But we touch it up, we get it done. Let's see, how long is that? That takes 4 minutes. Yeah, we do 4-minute paint up of Colin McLaren. From here, we go back to a talking head, and we pop into the model itself. And at this point, if y'all recall from the first episode, the Marauder is pretty much detailed up, or pretty much painted up, and then I just need to do the detail work. So we talk about putting a dull coat on it, and then weathering, a bunch of chipping. That section of the work actually took a insane amount of time, probably 8-12 hours total. We cut in, we do an Aries ad. A reminder that this video that I'm putting out is sponsored by Aries Games and Minis. So up until the Battle of Tukid till May 20th, if you want to check out at Aries Games and Miniatures and get you some fantastic models, use code CountryFried at checkout, the COUNTRYFRIED, no spaces. You'll get an additional 5% off your total cart contents, regardless of any existing sales. That's it. Special thanks to Aries Games and Minis once again. So after the ad comes through, we'll do more weathering. We're talking about the Dirty Down Rust product, which is fantastic stuff. Cut to a brief talking head, just transition between scenes, and then I'm going to give y'all another breakdown of what goes into my texture paste. It's basically the same recipe as Dan does. No, Bill Making Stuff, same guy. Bill Making Stuff does a crustard for his bases, and it's kind of the same deal. PVA glue, paint, water, baking soda, some grit. The baking soda works as a scale grit. You know, if you just put sand on the base of a model, it's not the proper scale. Sorry, I'm responding to a friend in Discord. Some friends of mine were talking about perhaps getting into some Project Zomboid again, which I actually love that game. It's a really good one, really classic. Highly recommend it if you like the post-apocalyptic zombie scenario survival games. Anyhow, back to the task at hand. Where was I? I was talking about the crustard. We're getting the base on the model. We're basing it up. I've spent the last session putting this together, cutting it down. We got some fun effects going in. We got some fun audio effects as well. We're doing up the base. From here, we talk about sealing the base. And while that dries, we get back into doing lens jeweling. Yep, those are all cut down and formatted up to look nice and pretty. And then I think that's where we're at now. We're putting lens jeweling all the way through the spotlights, the PPCs, and that brings us to the current point today. Let's pull open, oops, it's that one, yeah. Let me see if I can't figure out where we're at and give you guys an idea of what's going on. I think it's this one right here. That's where we're at. Lovely. That just starts immediately with a belch into the camera. All right, so this one is indeed lens jeweling the medium lasers. This is the video where we're at. You can see it's approaching the very end of the build process. And actually, I've done a few of these out of order to make them make a little more sense in the context of the build. So from here, we just have to edit out the lens jeweling for the medium laser. These next few are already in the video. It's the basing. We've already blacked it out. And then from there, it's just talking about weathering powder, making your own weathering powder from cheap pastels, which I'll include a link to the Amazon storefront page. Yep, that's it. Just putting the powder down, and then I don't know if I have a sequence of gluing it together, but right after the weathering, we talk about applying the flat coat varnish over top. It's not actually a flat coat, it's a matte coat, but it's really dull, so it might as well be a flat coat. Definitely my favorite, the Winsor & Newton Artist Matte UV acrylic varnish. Good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Yeah, so we apply that, make it look good. Yeah, there we go. I show it to the camera. Right here. This stuff, highly recommend. You can put it on with an airbrush or with a paintbrush and it works fine either way. So we'll put that on, and I think I have a segment where I'm gluing it back together. Yeah, we use a little bit of the B7000 and some super glue. So I guess I didn't put the B7000 on Chansey. We put the super glue, we put the B7000, we put some super glue down, we glue the model together. End assembly. We'll spin it around and then we'll cut to the full model reveal. In addition to the full model reveal, the video itself, I have a special treat. I've been working with a close friend of mine as well as some other sources to put together a battletech rap song. I think I've shared it on one of these here videos before, but let's go ahead and preview it. Yeah, let's go ahead and preview it here. Let's run it. Okay, so teaser properties. We're gonna run, remove this. I'm gonna add file. Let's go ahead and play this song. So when we reveal the final project, I'm also gonna reveal my rap track that I've put together. I might put a teaser out. I might put a teaser out on the Battletech channel. The subreddit, I mean. I'm trying to find it. My apologies, folks. I'm kind of all over the place today, a little manic, but that's fine. Here we go. Let's do that. Let's remove this. And I'm going to turn on the monitor over here and see if it works. Let's silence the music playlist. Let's silence the mic. And hit play.
I'm a Marauder, it may be pretty hard. I'm a Marauder, it may be pretty hard. I'm a Marauder,
Listen up, let me tell you about my life, starting from a noble birth, living on through battle, hard and strife. I learned to fight, to kill and to destroy. My marauder, my ride, the ultimate joy. I fought in the Third Succession War, the battles and bloodshed I just couldn't ignore. Riding in my metal steed, she's a truly fearsome beast. Before her, my enemies cower
Coward is their fear increase.
Colin McLaren, the name that strikes fear. My marauder, machine that's always near. A pilot, a killer, and a true master. Colin McLaren, the legend, the disaster.
We ride as dragoons to victory and fame. From the very start, my mech has always been the same. Stock standard, yes, she suits my every need. Under heavy laser fire, they bleed and they bleed and they bleed. Fierce and loyal, I'm Kerensky's right hand. Even in the face of death, together we stand. On paper we're wolves, but we're black widows first. Always needing the blood of our foes to slake our thirst. I kept on the pressure, pushing hard to the end. M83R, both my right and best friend. I died a hero's death in the heat of the strife, but my mech still lives on, ready to take another life. From the bounty hunter's trap with only two alive, to the moment where my life the dragon would deprive. No battles too grand or single foe too hard, I laid them out,
Stacking bodies by the yard.
so let me rest in peace. No longer by her side, Colin McLaren, the man who never lied. MAD3R, it took me to the top. Sergeant McLaren, he who never stopped. All right, folks. Did that work? Yeah. That's a thing that exists. Is this working? Testing 1, 2. That's a thing. Okay. I wasn't sure how much delay I have on the feedback here. Depending on the reception of that, it may or may not continue that trend. That trend may or may not continue. But that said, I do have more rap tracks in the works. So, all right, my nose is itching again today. I'll be picking it. You're just gonna have to deal. That said, let's hop into some actual work. Sorry, my buddy's getting back to me about this here. We're looking into trying to do a Project Zomboid server, which there used to be a bunch of, but I think the player base is kind of dying. Anyhow, we're here, we're working. Not actually working, avoiding work, as is the usual tradition. So, to kind of sum up what's going on, we're doing the final lens jeweling segment. We're doing the weathering powder explanation. We're doing the dull coat over top, and then we're doing the final assembly of the completed model, and we'll cut into final work. Oh, I guess gluing McLaren down will be the final shot. Right there. And then we set it down, cut into the full model reveal with some nice shots. I have another segment here where I put some glossy stuff over top of the cockpit, but I think I'm gonna skip that. I think it's, you know, it's neat, but it's not necessary for the storytelling, so we'll skip that. And in all this rambling, coming full circle, that means we've got 1, 2. These two are one together, so 3 and 4, 5 clips to edit today. So let's go ahead and get to work and see if we can't do the final edit final editing stuff here. Where's the last talking head? We have a talking head here right before we do the lens jeweling. I'm thinking I might put in another brief segment of playing the Pokemon game. I need to film that today though. I don't know exactly where to go. Trying to keep this video like digestible length too. No more of these like. I'd rather, if it's gonna go over 30 minutes in totality, keep it to two videos that are maybe a total 45 minutes of content. Like I could do these really long form, honestly, and do like a full treatise on putting it together. But I think that's too self-indulgent, and I think people wouldn't want to watch that much. Now that said, if you would like to see like a full long paint, like 3-hour project, let me know in the comments down below. I could probably put one together. That might be something I do for patrons once we get the Patreon up. But I'm not gonna launch the Patreon until we hit 1,000 subscribers. It'd be a nice celebration of that moment. So that said, if you're not subscribed now and you want to see more content from the bullshit corner here at Country Fried Minis, go ahead and drop a sub down below. We'd love your viewership on the regular, and fun content is sure to come out every now and then. I'm aiming for like a bi-weekly release, but you know it's rough. It's real rough to put that content out. In fact, when's the last time I was here in the Workflow Live? It was last month. Granted, we're only a week into this month, but that said, we're slow going here. Been 2 weeks since the last video release. I'd really like to step that up, to be honest, and it's rough. It's rough keeping up with even this slow production schedule. And it's wild too, because the YouTube wants the algorithm, I should say. The algorithm wants you to put videos out every week. And honestly, like, that's a tall order for the scope of the projects I'm putting together. And that's why there's so many shorts offerings and the live streams. So, you know, it's supplementary content to keep feeding that algorithm, to keep us in the ballpark of some measure of viewership. Let's do this one right here. Not that I ever actually wanted to do shorts videos. I kind of don't like shorts, like as a concept. I think that it's, you know, it's just YouTube trying to compete with the TikTok market share, and that's really a shame. Anyhow, it looks like we're gonna get out another color here. Let's get that in there. We're doing this segment in 3-second intervals in hopes to get through it quickly without it being too slow and dry. And then I'm hoping I have a good looking segment right here where I'm putting that orangey highlight on the same spot. It looks like I don't. Okay, here we go. Man, that's not even a discernible difference. Shame. Oh well, it's fine. You gotta read between the lines. I'm sacrificing clarity of work here for continuity of the shot. So there's, you know, there's a bit of movie magic goes into the work here for sure. That's fine. Oops. Get rid of that clip. Stack this over. I also want to report that once again, my neighbor upstairs is making non-stop construction noises. They actually woke me up out of a dead sleep last night at midnight, and continued till about 3:45 in the morning when I fell back asleep. The exhaustion won out over the noise, and here it is 12 hours later and the noise is still ongoing. These guys are guy, gal, I don't actually know who or how many people live up there, but I have the upstairs neighbors from hell, and they're denying me my ability to function. It's actually why I'm so late today. I slept till late in the afternoon since I had nothing going on today. Finally got some sleep. Anyhow, that complaining aside, that complaining notwithstanding, we have now edited up this segment of we've sliced up this section. Let's go ahead and zoom in some of these shots so we can see what's going on. Pull out the red. Apply the red. There you go, 90% on that one. Put that up here. Put in the red. Get out the Wild Rider red. That one can actually, I think that one can be zoomed in a bit, so it's not quite as jarring when we cut out the zoom. And then this one will zoom right back in. We'll go 100 on that one. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I hope there's a discernible difference. Yeah, okay. Fantastic. All right, with that, we now have the lens jeweling complete. I think we might go with talking head. We'll do a talking head. How many talking heads do I have already? There's one here. Once. This is not it. Once. Twice. 3 times. 4 times. 5 times. I'm on camera 6 times already. So we're gonna do, I think we're gonna do the Pokemon sequence where I go buy my Porygon. So let's open up paint.net. Let's open this image. Let's select this. Delete all that. Fill this color in. Excellent. We're going to put some text down. Same font as always. I'm not sure what size it is, but it's not really important. Pokemon play sequence. All right, save as. We're gonna call this Pokemon placeholder. All these blue segments are just where I have to film stuff still and pop it in. Okay, we have that. We're gonna drop in the Pokemon. Just a few seconds where I'm walking into the game corner and catching in my tokens. Basically, I'm going to be saying, oh, while the bait's drying, I found a little time to to put in my Pokemon and keep working towards my goals. Alright, so now we're going to cut to pigment powder work, which is a hot tip for y'all. Get you onto Amazon or your local Hobby Lobby, or hobby store, I should say. I don't actually support Hobby Lobby. They hold some really awful political stances. Their company, their management and fundraising efforts and whatnot. They're actually kind of an evil company. I'm taking too long here. We're gonna do this in 3-second segments. Anyhow, what I'm saying is pick you up some cheap pastels. Some hard pastels, whatever colors you're using, even if you just buy a single stick. I have a couple that I picked up at Blick. Instead of a box, I just bought the whole thing. Let's see what 3 seconds looks like here. I really want all of this. So I think what I'm going to do is take that whole clip. I'm going to go up to the clip menu and I'm going to speed duration it. That is a really long clip. 8 seconds. It's got to be over double speed. What is this going to look like at that speed? Too fast. Way too fast. Way too fast. How about right here? What's 3 seconds look like? I think that's good enough. Yeah, cool. We'll use that. All right, so we show the pastels. We show the content of the pastel box. We're going to show the knife. I think we're going to show putting the hard surface out. There we go, right there. Pow. Let's look what 3 seconds of that looks like. You know, I could do this in 5-second increments, but I just think that like the time saved from running this in the 3-second increments will add up and make for a much more watchable piece. All the important detail is there. Let's do the very end of this segment here. Just want to illustrate that we're chopping the stuff off with the hobby knife. And then we'll jump into, we'll skip all that and we'll do this right here. Let's see, does that get all the way to application? It sure does. We're gonna take that. I'm gonna do maybe 9 seconds of applying the pigment powder. I mean, really, we just want to show that it's getting applied and making a change on the model. I like this segment right here. That one looks good. Yeah, there's instant change apparent. You know, the whole picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So I want to tell 1,000 words with that segment. That one looks good. That looks like a good change. Not that. Yeah, that looks really good right there. Let's get those 3 seconds of that. Pow. Maybe not. Maybe right there is the last one. Awful lot of thinking out loud here, folks. I'm not apologetic for that. That's just how it is. That's what this session is. Getting work done. It's just what I'd be doing anyways. All right, so I think we've done a good job of illustrating what we're doing here. Get rid of all that. Stack these in. And because we're using these 3-second intervals, we've managed to show the pigments, preparing the pigments, and applying it inside of, it's 21 seconds. Yeah, so is there any more of that going on? There's a little more. There's a second color going down. Okay. Let's take a peek at that. Ooh, I'd have to do another full spread of putting those colors down. All right. I think I'm gonna have to. I'd like to cut over this and not spend too much time on this storytelling, but it's important because there's 2 colors actually going down. So let's do it. Let's put that one. We're getting this pastel out. I like that I set it down and it falls down. We're gonna slice some powder off it. That looks good. We'll grab that. Pow. And then we're gonna apply some more dust to the model. I think that segment looks great. Right here. Grab this. 3 seconds. Getting that second color on. Making it a dusty boy. And then, yeah, I think another 9 seconds is good. Just don't need to spend a lot of time on the clip. Just getting the stuff on there. I like that segment. What's this one actually look like? Yeah, that's what we'll do. Rotate it around and put the powder down right here. Pow, ka-chow, ka-choo, do that. And then we'll do one more where it's spun around, I guess. A different angle somewhere. I like that one. Shows the status of it. Let's go back 3 seconds. Pow. Chow. I'm in the shot for some reason. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so with that, we now have the entirety of the weathering powder sequence. And how long is that? Yeah, a little over 30 seconds. Just under 40 seconds. I think it's watchable. Pastels. Pull the colors out. Illustrate that I have the colors. Get the hard surface. Start slicing the stuff down. We can do a little zoom on this one, I think. It's going to get us 60%. This one's going to get us 75%. That one's getting no zoom. This one's getting a zoom. We'll do another 75% there. Do a slight zoom in here, 80%. Just quick decisions, right? New color. New color is, we'll split the difference. Call this 70. And then we're back to no zoom. No zoom. We'll do this one 65. Just, you know, changing the zoom, changing the angles, trying to keep it interesting. Do this one 75 as well. Wait, last one was 75? 65, 75, okay. 65 to 75. There's a little change in between them. It's interesting. Let's give it a look. Pastels come out. Pastel colors are showed. I dig out the hard surface. I grab my pastel. I scrape it down. I pick some up with an old ready brush and apply it to the model. Several passes. Yeah, it looks great. Another pastel color. Cut it down. Pick it up. Put it down. I don't like that there's no change between these two sequences. We need to put this one zoomed in a bit. Let's go 60%. Alright, put the thing out. Shave it down. Pick it up. Different angle. Finalizing the work. Yeah, looks good. Okay, weather and powder complete. Alright, so now that that's applied, we're going to jump into this Pokemon sequence. We're going to jump into the whole applying a flat coat. Let's see. Is this another 3-second interval thing? Is it a 5-second interval? I think so. We're slowing the pace down at this point. Let's see what that looks like if I do 5 seconds on it. Yeah, okay. That looks great. We're going to do 5-second intervals. I'm going to pour the junk. Let's see where 5 seconds puts us. Pow. 5 seconds. Why won't it attach? Looks good. Okay. I wonder what this is going to look like. Let's see what 5 seconds of putting this thing together. Pull it out, attach the hose. Yeah, looks good. We'll spend 25 seconds on the spraying. I need to find two nice and clear sequences that kind of show the shine disappear in real time. Maybe not, maybe just spraying it. I like that. It's got the, it may not be showing the shine disappear in real time, but it has the airbrush in the shot. It's a good shot. We're taking it. We're running 5 seconds of it. Pow. spraying the top, and then I think we need a segment of spraying the legs. So let's grab this second clip. Let's effect controls, shrink it down to normal size. I don't think I have the airbrush in the shot for any of this. But it does, there's a textural change on the feet, and that's what I want right here. I start it here. That is not far enough to hit the toes. I want that whole spray hitting the toes section. So let's start cutting it right here. Let's go back 5 seconds. That's not far enough back. Where's the actual... I want this right here. You see where the toes change. I want some perceptible difference. Let's see what that actually looks like. Okay. I might need to find just where that spray appears, because it's a lot of dead space I started with there. Like a full second of nothing. Yeah, cool. Looks good. It's good. Good cut. Good cut. All right, so in 25 seconds we have told the tale of spraying the dull coat onto the model. Let's stick that on here. And then finally, we're going to do the gluing together segment. Effect controls 50%. Actually need to fill my coffee cup. I can hear the pot ticking at me over there. So let's go ahead and transition to the BRB screen, and I shall be RB. All right, I'm back. I said I'd be RB, and I'm here. Okay, nice and quiet day today now. The noise upstairs has ceased. I am pleased. Let's do this whole self-indulgent scene right here. Right there's good enough. So we have this segment here where we're getting out some isopropyl alcohol. Okay. I wonder if this scene would look great. Sped up. No. Let's just redo all that. I want the alcohol coming out. Then we're wiping down. Damn it, what did I do? I entered 231 seconds instead of 31. That's what I did. That is what I've done. We need 31. Okay. All right. So we've got the alcohol out. We're wiping it down. We're gonna show that we're using B7000, which this stuff is great if you don't know about it. It's a flexible adhesive that is safe with electronic parts around it. A good friend of mine turned me on to it. Because he works with technology, and I've used it ever since. It's interesting to use it in this capacity where I'm going to be using it, because basically the B7000 plus the super glue allows for two different adhesive types, which have different properties as far as like shear resistance and flexibility. So we're gonna get out Chansey, guest palette. I want that goo drop right there. That's gold. Yuck. Let's pop that in. Looks like we just had a quick save happen, or auto save I should say. Stick that on there. We're gonna pull out the model, change the angle. Don't need any of that detail. I'm gonna put the B7000 on. See what 5 seconds of that looks like. I'm hoping it's not quite putting the glue on the model. I wonder if I could just speed this clip up. Let's try it. Click here, click to clip, speed duration. It is a 13-second clip. Is that really? That's insane. Alright, I guess I'm just going to show applying the B7000. Right there is a good starting point. Let's see. I didn't realize that was so slow. We're applying B7000. Then I need I need 5 seconds that shows grabbing the paint from Chansey and then globbing it on the model. Man, why are these... I was working really slow here. I don't understand it. That's just gonna have to do right there. We're gonna have to start it here and see what 31 seconds. I'd like to show picking up the glue off the palette, but that's fine. This tells the tale regardless. And then we need to put the lid on the guy. Alright, right here. That's what we want. 5 seconds of that. 21. I can't believe that in 5 seconds I don't have the model like put down. It's just wild how slow I was working that day. But it's precision work. Okay. And then we'll do the spray. I did it again. I did it again. All right, there we go. Keep typing things wrong and it's jumping me around in weird ways. That's what I'm getting at. All right, so we now have this really long self-indulgent glue together sequence, which is fine. We're gonna get out the alcohol. I'm gonna pour it on the thing. We're gonna wipe down our workstation. We're actually gonna zoom in 5% on that. Pow. B7000 comes out. We're gonna zoom in another 5% on that. We're gonna get this out of the way. Chansey comes in, and I think she is also deserving of an additional zoom in. See if that puts her center frame. Yeah. I'm gonna do another zoom in. And I'm committed to the bit at this point. Every one of these segments is gonna have us going in 5%. All right. This one is now 75%. Well, it's a good thing we didn't include picking up the glue anyways, because it's not going to show up in the shot right here. Because this one's now 80%. And that becomes the center of focus. This one is 85%. This one is 90. You know, it doesn't look great on these shots, but I'm committing to a bit here. All right, let's watch it through. Alcohol. Cleaning the work surface. Chansey comes out. No, B7000 is shown. Chansey comes out. She gets goo. We put the B7000 on. We're gonna put the thing on. There'll be some nice music playing. There'll be a little voiceover over top of this. We set the model. Make sure it's lined up. I talk about making sure it's lined up, and then we hit it with the accelerator to lock it in place. And then the accelerator cures that glue instantly, where the B7000 will provide the strength as it cures. What else is there to show? Ah, yes. We're gonna attach Mr. McLaren. And I think after attaching Mr. McLaren to the base, we're done. Let's start out with a proper 50% zoom. I want to show, this will update. We might could do this one now in 3-second increments. Just change the pace a little bit. I want to show McLaren. Show McLaren. 3 seconds. Yep, there we go. Hand behind it, nice focus. Then we'll do, get out the chisel blade. Not actually a chisel, but a chisel type blade on my X-Acto. I'm gonna shave his feet. Oh, I love these segments where I'm just cutting towards my fingers. It's too good. It's a little out of focus, but I think that's fine. We might just do a static shot through all of this without changing the zoom. Lots of cutting. Lots of cutting. We got the crazy glue.
Access granted.
Yes, sir. Crazy glue, 3 seconds. Snag that. The Chansy's getting a little bit. I like this. This is fun. Looking good. Almost done. Home stretch. Well, it's not actually the home stretch because I still got to do all the voiceover. See what 3 seconds back from that looks like. I want to get the whole McLaren's feet in the goop. Yeah, I like that. That's why we use the extra thin there. And then I can't actually get it attached with the glue as I wanted, so I have to apply a bunch of extra stuff. But it's fine. It's fine. We're going to cure him in place with this segment. Perfect. And then we're gonna pick up the whole dang thing. All right, so 3 seconds is not enough time to get it up in the camera. So we're actually gonna click here and go back to where we're already like mid picking the thing up. Boom. And then I'm gonna transition to this. All right, and that puts it at 08. Yep, perfect, cool stuff. I think that shows all the detail we need. Oh, maybe not. I want this kind of zooming shot. However long it takes. I'm just gonna cut around it. I'm gonna take this shot, take this whole shot. Get in on McLaren. Look at the details. Look at the model. Zooming out. How long is that? Okay, so that's 12 seconds. What's another 3 seconds look like? Let's do 15 seconds on that. Yeah, awesome. Okay, I think that has us with our final sequence of the videos I have out. So cut this, stack all this stuff. Nope. Need it to stack, need it to magnet. Don't know why I don't want to do that unless I'm zoomed in. All right, click it in place. click it or tick it, you know. Glues it together. Putting McLaren on the base. There we go. Looks like in the end we're sitting at about a 21 minute video. We're gonna play that track at the model reveal. I think it's about 2 minutes long. So hopefully we can keep all the talking head bits as short as possible. But from what I can tell, other than maybe doing some adjustment of zoom on some of these shots, we're ready to start the voiceover process. Because yeah, it looks like I didn't do a lot of zoom change on these scenes, and that is perhaps a little bit of interest that we need. Let's try this one 60%. Let's go back through and do a little more editing, a little more pizzazz on these scenes. Just like stuff for your detail-hungry eyes to eat up. We'll go back down and zoom on that one. This one definitely needs a big zoom. So I think in that case, this will be 80. Cancel, what did I click on? 80. I had something selected when I pressed that other button. Alright, so cut back to the scene. This probably needs some zoom to like really illustrate what's going on. I think same here. We'll do another big zoom on that one. This one for sure. Let's go 100% on it. Hey, my neighbor's making noise. I love it. Living under the sky is a nightmare. I'm being denied lots of sleep. Okay, so I'm thinking continuous shot through all of this. No need to zoom it. Where this whole segment could just stay as it were. I think so. This has got some zoom changes that don't need no zoom changes. This could probably use... No, I added some in there. Alright. That's got zoom changes. This has got zoom changes. Alright, so from what I can tell, this is all edited up. So from here, we need some talking head segments. Let's start writing script. Notepad. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Where are we sitting at here for stream duration today? An hour in. Hour in, not too bad. Not the worst. Haven't gotten much work done, but it is what it is. Despite how bad things looked at the end of last episode, we're gonna be able to make this here blacked out, this here blackened Marauder look proper again, instead of this overly dark wash. In all honesty, this is the real strength of the oil wash. oil. This is the real strength of oil paint. Since it's been, or we've only let that wash dry for a few hours to facilitate the removal. Which I can't type today, which we're gonna undertake now. First up, let's get out some clean white spirit, and a little piece of lint-free cloth. Some folks use cotton buds or makeup sponges for this application, but in my case, this is a big old model, and I'm gonna use a cut off piece of an old dress sock. How much time do I need to fill? This is about a minute of talking. We're just gonna, and I'm gonna use a cutoff. So I'm talking let's and I'm at the same time. Of course, the royal we is interchangeable with I, but I try not to do it in the same paragraph too much. I guess it makes sense to go from let's to I'm gonna in the same sentence if I'm kind of putting this together like an instructional, like I'm talking to the person watching the video as if they were undertaking the same process. Okay, so I'm going to use piece of old cut off dress sock or whatever, and then simply my microphone is shaking. Wonder if we're having some tremors here in San Francisco. Can't tell. Anyhow, simply put a bit of the white spirit onto the cleaning implement and wipe away as much or as little of the grime layer as seems appropriate. In this case, the model is supposed to be a black Marauder. And I got it a bit too gray in the paint up. So that grime needs to be fairly black. Hence this heavy wash upon which we ended the last episode. In no time at all, it's looking fine and dandy. We can set it aside to dry up fully. All right, looks good. Let's run Audacity and read our script. Oh, it wants me to update. Let's do it. Let's install that update. Yes, let's allow this app to make changes on my device. Okay, next. Yes, next, install. Yeah, let's close the applications. Launch Audacity. Here we go. I'm actually feeling starting to feel a little cruddy. I might be coming down with a cold or something. I got a bit of a running nose, I got a headache, and my voice is doing some odd things in this moment. Let's try to power through the talking bits today. Okay. Here we go. Alrighty then. Despite how bad things looked at the... Okay, I've already screwed up. I just can't read. Alrighty then. Despite how bad things looked at the end of last episode, we're going to be able to make this here blackened Marauder look proper again, instead of this overly dark wash. In all honesty, this is the real strength of oil paint. We've only let that wash dry for a few hours to facilitate the removal, which we're going to undertake now. First up, let's get out some clean white spirit and a little piece of lint-free cloth. Some folks are going to use cotton buds or makeup sponges for this application, but in my case it's a big old model, and I'm going to use a cut-off piece of an old dress sock. Simply put a bit of the white spirit onto the cleaning implement and wipe away as much or as little of the grime layer as seems appropriate. In this case, the model is supposed to be a black Marauder, and I got it a little bit too gray in the last paint up, so that grime needs to be fairly black, hence this heavy wash upon which we ended the last episode. But that said, in no time at all, it's looking fine and dandy, and we can set it aside to dry up fully. That looks like it's going to fit in that segment, and I'm even going to just keep in these here stumbles. Yeah. Oh, I have a voice lines. Let's do a voice over folder. There we go. 1. We'll call it voiceover 1. There we go. Setting it up. I have a headache. It's coming on quickly. Part 2 voiceover. Traffic is picking up outside. Let's stack this in there. Nope, it actually ran too long. I thought it was a minute long. 34 seconds to... I'm 5 seconds over. Damn it, man. We'll just cut off that last segment. Figure out where the breath in is. Cut it right here. Just get rid of that. And give it a listen. Welcome, Derek. I just saw that you had joined the chat. I am racing the clock to try and get this video out as soon as possible. Aiming for hopefully tomorrow. It might be another Monday release, but I've got a final project due in my Latino art history course, which is another video project. And currently, I have a collection of stills. It's just a collection of stills over which there'll be some voice lines. But it's all existing in the noodle and into script right now. I have to record it and post it by tomorrow. As is proper fashion, I have procrastinated to the last second. But I can't imagine attempting to get through a college course without doing something I should have took 2 weeks on in like 7 hours. Anyhow. All right, all right. Good enough. And you know, that's a hallmark of the whole Country Fried Minis approach. Good enough is good enough. And I'm gonna live with it, especially with this whole, like, I distinctly feel like I have a cold coming on very quickly. Gotta love a public transit illness, which is where I suspect it's come from. I was on campus yesterday. Okay, so first segment done. Now we need to write a bit of a script about preparing Mr. Colin McLaren. I think I'll do a nod to the model. What was he called? Imperial Ace Pilot STL. I think that's what it was. No, I'll have to look it up here. It's in my 3D printing stuff. Let's see. Battletech Mech Warriors. It is called Tempest Ace Pilot. That's it. Tempest Ace Pilot STL. Yeah, this is the one right here. Velrock Art Miniatures. I want to put a nod to the creator. So, hey, my neighbor is hammering and banging. I know that this has come up in several streams at this point, and I think it kind of illustrates the problem that I'm dealing with. This guy upstairs, he bangs and hammers and saws and moves furniture every single day. I don't know what the hell they could be up to, but it's wearing down my mental health and costing me a lot of sleep. Actually, if you found this stream and you're watching so far in the algorithm, and have any advice regarding what legal recourse could be done for a problematic neighbor, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd be eternally thankful. Because this guy's a absolute menace. Anyhow, back to the work at hand. If I can make my mind focus, we're going to be writing up a little bit about this model. Okay, next up, we're gonna start preparing Mr. Colin McLaren himself. What good is a legendary mech without a legendary pilot? So with that in mind, a pilot model on the base is gonna be a fantastic man, I can't type. Fantastic addition to a 28mm scale mech. 28mm, yeah. We'll say battle mech. Give it a little variation. Battle mech. Okay. Let's break these sentences down so they're a little easier to read. After some searching and discussion regarding the proper model for this application, this here Tempest Guardsman Veteran Ace Pilot model was recommended by Velrock. What's it called? Velrock Art miniatures. Miniatures was recommended to me over at Mechanical Frogs Discord server. A bit of a tangent here. If you're not familiar with Mech Frog's channel, I highly recommend you head on over and subscribe to get that sweet battletech lore delivered in spectacular fashion. Check out the card above if you want to peep his channel, and the link in the description below if you'd like to get your hands on this model, this pilot model yourself. Okay, pow. Let's go back into Premiere and see how much time we need to fill here. It's 20 seconds of, let's see, 135 to 225, a little less than a minute to fill, to get to the priming part. As with any 3D printed model, we'll add supports and print it to personal preference, then clean and cure it up before heading back to the spray booth to apply a nice even prime coat. In this case, I've elected to go with Stynel Res Gray instead of a zenithal coat. Colin's gonna be in the shadow of his ride, so no need for that top down zenithal coat. Okay. All right, I'm trying to stay on track here, folks, but this guy upstairs making noise is just like, I wish it would stop. I wish like hell it would stop. My mental health is very degrading. Very much degrading. He's wearing me down, and it never stops. This guy goes for like 20 hours at a time. I'm assuming there's some methamphetamines involved based on the hours and the longevity of the noises. It's utter insanity. Okay, well, I hope that's not coming through on the mic. I really hope like hell it's not coming through on the mic, because I have voice lines to record. But hey, there was a bang just now. Those of you who are watching this are watching a man slowly lose his mind. Okay. Let's try to record this up and see how long it goes, and then we'll break this voiceover into multiple segments to facilitate it, to facilitate lining it up correctly. and hopefully I can get through a 30-second bit without the incessant hammering and banging coming through on my mic. Alright, let's give it a shot. Next up, we're going to start preparing Mr. Colin McLaren himself. After all, what good is a legendary mech without a legendary pilot? With that in mind, a pilot model on the base is going to be a fantastic addition to a 28mm scale battle mech. After some searching and discussion regarding the proper model for this application, this here Tempest Guardsman Veteran Ace Pilot model by Velrock Art Miniatures was recommended to me over at Mechanical Frog's Discord server. A bit of a tangent here, if you're not familiar with Mech Frog's channel, I highly recommend you head on over and subscribe to get that sweet battletech lore delivered in spectacular fashion. Check out the card above if you want to peep his channel, and the link in the description below if you'd like to get your hands on this here pilot model yourself. Anyhow, as with any 3D printed model, we'll add supports and print it to personal preference, then clean and cure it up before heading back to the spray booth to apply a nice, even prime coat. In this case, I've elected to go with Stynylrez Gray instead of a zenithal coat. Colin's going to be in the shadow of his ride, so no need for that top-down zenithal coat. Alright, that's a decent take. That's a decent take. Hopefully the few bumps and bangs from upstairs don't pick up on my mic. You know, I don't think anybody would ever notice it besides myself, but it's wild how much anger and frustration I have towards my neighbor. How much resentment. It's absolutely insane. Okay, let's give it a watch. Hey, that lined up all right. I think I could leave out that little bit about the let's just try to cut out before that breath in. Okay, if I put this here and delete that, and then how will I mitigate this issue? We'll do, how about stay where I clicked, buddy? We're gonna have this fade off to nothing very quick like. Minus 100 instead. I'm hoping I can mitigate the breath in there. Yeah, okay, that sounds fine. And we can start on the next section. Fantastic. All right, so how long do I need to spend talking about the base coat? It is a fairly short clip, 2 minutes and 40 seconds to 35 seconds. 35 seconds about talking about it. Okay. Now that he's primed an even gray primed in an even gray layer, can go ahead and apply the various shades of base layers to the model. We'll be using black for the shirt and hair. I can't type, can't think, can't type. I'm very frazzled. Ivory for the fur lining. Flat earth for the leather bits. Let's see, do I pull out any other colors here? I'm just listing colors at this point. Sunny skin tone for his face. Baylor brown for the holster and gloves. I think I went Baylor brown on his gloves. Might have been a mistake, honestly. I don't know. They might be flat earth. Holster and belt. Holster and belt. And then various shades of gray to achieve a urban camo pattern on his fatigues. How many times do I say his? Just 2. Okay, that's fine. That works. Para la cara. Sunny skin tone. Para la cara. I'm gonna put that in there. Para la cara. I'm gonna drop in a little bit of Spanglish. See if folks notice. No hablo español. Conozco un poquito español porque soy estudiante, pero no puedo hablar bien. Hablo como un niño. I'm trying though. It's kind of important. Anyhow, let's give that a record and see how it fits. Now that he's all primed up in an even gray layer, we can go ahead and apply the various shades of base layers to the model. We'll be using black for the shirt and hair, ivory for the fur lining, flat earth for the leather bits, sunny skin tone para la cara, Baylor brown for the holster and belt, and then various shades of gray to achieve an urban camo pattern on his fatigues. Okay, I could afford to say those a little slower and they should still fit. Let's see, that segment itself is 30 seconds long. We'll be using an assortment of colors for we'll be using an assortment of colors on this filler, including all right, let's give it a go. Let's give it another go. Now that he's primed in an even gray coat, we can go ahead and apply the various shades of base layers to the color. We'll be using an assortment of colors on this feller, including black for the shirt and hair, ivory for the fur lining, flat earth for the leather bits, sunny skin tone para la cara, Baylor brown for the holster and belt, and then various shades of gray to achieve an urban camo pattern on his fatigues. Here I've elected to to speed through this section of the paint up in a multi-panel montage. Just remember to keep your application of base tone even and thin, so you don't lose too much detail for the next step. Ink washing. I think I go into ink washing next. Pretty sure that's what's next. We're gonna apply a few shades of contrast color to the base layers to shade them up proper. Where do I show the colors? Contrast, we're going to apply a few shades of contrast color and speed paint to the base layers to shade them up proper. Snake bite leather, grave lord, gray, blood red. I guess I don't really need to. Let's just give that a go and see how much it adds to it. Here I've elected to speed through this section of the paint up in a multi-panel montage. Just remember to keep your application of the base tone even and thin so you don't lose too much detail for the next step. Ink washing. We're going to apply a few shades of contrast color and speed paint to the base layers to shade them up proper. Alright, that gives us 43.5 seconds. Where does that put us? 43 seconds would put us at 3:23. 3:23. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Let's export that. Let's export that and plug it in and see how it works. I'm gonna call this voice over 3. Yes. No sense getting too long with it in case we gotta change some stuff around. Let's see how it works. Okay, cool. That works. It's good enough. I'm gonna run with it. Sounds like I've got a little bit of audio hum. Might have to bring down the mic some, which is fine. That's fine. We're gonna blast on through. Okay, so we're gonna say something like, once that ink washing, once that shading is all dried up, is fully dry, we can get back out some of the base tones to build back up the layers. We can get back some of the base tones to build back up the originally intended colors. The most daunting portion of this has been rebuilding the camo after that really dark wash of the, I use speed paint on it, of the speed paint. In hindsight, I should have used a thinner wash, or perhaps added the camo pattern after the wash. After the wash instead of before, as I ended up having to completely rebuild the pattern. Still, a lesson learned is a lesson learned, and it was easy enough to trudge on through that busy work and rebuild a proper camouflage. It's F-L-A-G-U-E? A-U-G-E? How do you spell camouflage? Is it just F-L-A? I'm gonna look it up. Camouflage. I knew there was a U in it. It's right there. Well, you learn something every day, don't you? Okay. Trudge on through the busy work and rebuild a proper camouflage. Okay. Digressing. We're not just rebuilding the base tones, but also adding in some highlight colors and putting brighter tones on the raised areas and edges of the model. All right, for instance, slowly this includes details such as mixing in some Baylor brown to the original leather color, as well as ivory into the grays and yellowy bits. Okay, I'm gonna record that and see if it butts up to the point where we're adding in the eyes. Beep, 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 boop, beep, boop, bow, bow. Let's do this. Here we go. Delete. Once that shading is fully dry, we can get back out some of the base tones to build back up the originally intended colors. The most daunting portion. Once that shading is fully dry, we can get back out some of the base tones to build back up that originally intended colors. The most daunting portion of this has been rebuilding the camo after that really dark wash of the speed paint. In hindsight, I should have used a thinner wash or perhaps added the camo pattern after the wash instead of before, as I ended up having to completely rebuild the pattern. Still, a lesson learned is a lesson learned, and it was easy enough to trudge on through that busy work and rebuild a proper camouflage. Digressing, we're not just rebuilding the base tones, but also adding in some highlight colors and putting brighter tones on the raised areas and edges of the model. This includes details such as mixing in some Baylor brown to the original leather color, as well as adding some ivory into the grays and yellowy bits. That seems alright. Let's export it. Let's call it voiceover 4. Yes. Done. Let's dump this in there and see how well it came out. Where do we end up? Oh, I could have... Okay. I guess I could have waffled on a bit more. Let's see, where does it end up saying camouflage? Okay. This included not only, it's included the same colors as before. This included the same colors as before, mixing up several different tones of gray in both splotchy blobs as well as edge highlights, but some tiny dots of ivory, and then some really thin streaks of solid black. Okay, if I put that in the middle of this, how's that gonna look? Let's find it. Oh man, that hard breath in. All right, let's cut this out. When I'm done with the stream today, I think I'm gonna have to go back in with my old headset to get some better audio and get the levels right. But for now, we're adding in the voiceovers. Just getting it done. Getting it done is most important. I know, like, I'm stressing putting super high quality into it, but like, I don't have to kill myself on this. After all, good enough is good enough. This included the same colors as before, mixing up several tones of gray in both spot. Good Lord, I can't. I feel it. I'm getting sick, folks. I'm getting sick. I feel it coming on really quickly today. This included the same colors as before, mixing up several tones of gray in both splotchy blobs as well as edge highlights, but also some tiny dots of ivory and then some really thin streaks of solid black. And then let's add that back in, get rid of that big breath in, and then we're going to export as MP3, make this voiceover number 4, pop it in, yes sir. We're going to update this feller and drop it back in. That seems to be working a little better now. Okay. We're gonna say, honestly, it didn't take too long, but if I were painting up a dozen models with camo, I'd prefer to save a bit of time on each one. Okay, cool. There we go. We're gonna, how do I zoom out? There we go. We're gonna grab the end of this here, feller, all the way down to the very end. Good Lord, come on now. Cut you out. Honestly, it didn't take too long, but if I were painting up a dozen models with camp, goddamn motorcycle. Goddamn motorcycle. Of course it did. Oh my God. Honestly, it didn't take too long, but if I were painting up a dozen models with camo, I'd prefer to save a bit of time on each one. Rather than needing to start this portion anew. It's right here, right? Audio 1. Honestly, it didn't take too long, but if I were painting up a dozen models, I was painting up a dozen models. Honestly, it didn't take too long, but if I were painting up a dozen models with camo, I prefer to save a bit of time on each one rather than needing to start this portion anew. Get rid of the click sound. Hit paste, file export again. And this right here is the beauty of Audacity, folks. You can just go in and do the work as you see fit, add a little bit more stuff into it. It works all right. Okay. Drop this in here. Click it in place. That motorcycle still came through. Man, what can I do to isolate the audio from the traffic that invariably comes through every time I hit record? It's uncanny. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. All right. It was particularly important to add in the ivory on the yellow tinged Baylor brown. As once the leather got highlighted up, they needed some variation to not appear. They needed some variation so as to appear distinct from the other brown tones. In the end, it didn't take too many layers, and since Colin himself is a base embellishment here, I decided that good enough was good enough. Declaring him done. Declaring these highlights done after just a few layers. Still, I wanted to include that said, I did include the smallest detail on this here guy and painted up the eyes. Usually I do this off camera as it's really hard to get right the first time, especially while filming. But today I've managed to show my process. Start out with black. Start out by applying black to the entire eye. Then get out your sharpest brush to apply a dot of warm off-white to either corner of the eye to either corner. If you leave a bit of a gap in the middle, that black that got left behind will serve as the pupil. And that's much easier than applying a well-controlled, super tiny dot in the center of the eye. Okay. Let's give it a go. Next bit. It was particularly important to add in that ivory on the yellow tinged Baylor brown, as once the leather got highlighted up, they needed some variation so as to appear distinct from the other brown tones. In the end, it didn't take too many layers since... God damn it. Okay. It was particularly important to add in the ivory on the yellow-tinged Baylor brown segments, as once the leather got highlighted up, they needed some variation so as to appear distinct from the other brown tones. In the end, it didn't take too many layers, and since Colin himself is just a base embellishment, I decided that good enough was good enough, declaring these highlights done after just a few layers. That said, I did include the smallest detail on this here guy, and... Fuck is this noise? Come on now! I wonder why the mic is coming through so dang loud in my Audacity as compared to the stream. Also, I was thinking that this mic, which is directional, and I have to be really close to, wouldn't pick up all this traffic noise, but it's picking it up anyways. It's insane. It's absolutely maddening to try and record audio in downtown San Francisco. And of course, like I said, I can sit here and wait till it's quiet, and then I click the record button, and then here comes some traffic, or a motorcycle, or some guy with a loudspeaker, or the asshole upstairs starts banging. It's very frustrating, and actually leads to a bit of the delay involved with production of videos. This can take ages. All right, where was I? Declaring these highlights done after just a few layers. That said, I did include the smallest detail on this here guy and painted up the eyes. Usually I do this off camera as it's really hard to get right the first time, especially while filming, but today I've managed to show my process. Start out by applying black to the entire eye, and then get out your sharpest brush to apply a dot of warm off-white to either corner. If you leave a bit of gap in the middle, that black that got left behind will serve as the pupil, and that's much easier to apply than going with a well-controlled super tiny dot in the center of the eye. I bet that traffic came through there too. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's not even... Oh, I guess it is rush hour now. I was going to say it's not rush hour, but the traffic has been going for the last hour. I wonder if rush hour is even a thing anymore. It's always traffic. Everybody got to drive everywhere instead of taking public transit like they should be doing. Wow, I need to add... Declaring these highlights done after just a few layers. I even completely skipped edge the highlights. I even completely skipped the highlights. Highlights. Good Lord, I can't type today. On his vest, opting instead to just build back up the base tone. I even completely skipped the highlights on his vest with flat red and simple ivory on the edges of the fur lining. The ink wash providing well enough shading to satisfy my needs. Okay. Gonna add in some more audio. Alright, let's cut all this out. I even completely skipped the highlights on his vest, opting instead to just build back up that base tone with flat red and simple ivory on the edges of the fur lining. The ink wash provided well enough shading to satisfy my needs. Get rid of the click. Oh, of course, I tried to just put in a second of silence there, and traffic went by. There we go. Paste. File. Export again. VoiceOver 5. Oh, I just hit the wrong thing on this headset. Alright, let's get rid of that. Let's re-import it. Damn, are you telling me I could still fit another like 3 seconds of audio here? Oh, that's so frustrating. Do I need to zoom that in? I bet it'll look a lot better if I'm zoomed all the way in. Okay, good enough. We'll call that good enough. Finally, it's time to put on the last bit of color on Mr. McLaren. Getting out the metallic to shine up certain details. This time opting for Vallejo's color that I use. Jet exhaust? I think it's jet exhaust. Jet exhaust. Jet exhaust for a rich but dark and subdued metallic metal color. We will let it fully dry, then get out some Nuln oil and apply that wash directly to the metal bits. With that done, so is Colin, and we can set him aside. Get back to work on the Marauder proper. Okay, let's record that, see how long it goes. I bet I have plenty more time I've waited until the end to use the metallic, as I don't want any mica flakes contaminating the other colors. But it's easy enough to control the application using this fabulous line of metal colors by Vallejo. It's even the right consistency, right directly out of the bottle with no need for mixing or thinning. Wow. Also pigmented enough to color, to lay down in just one coat. All right, let's try that. Let's try that. We're gonna go Audacity. Finally, it's time to put on that last bit of color on Mr. McLaren, getting out the metallic to shine up certain details. This time opting for Vallejo's jet exhaust for a rich but dark and subdued metal color. Let's start over because some asshole with his loud ass exhaust went by. Finally, it's time to put on that last bit of color on Mr. McLaren, getting out the metallic to shine up certain details. This time I'm opting for Vallejo's jet exhaust for a rich but dark and subdued metal color. I've waited until the end to use the metallic as I don't want any mica flakes contaminating the other colors, but it's easy enough to control the application using this fabulous line of metal colors by Vallejo. It's even the right consistency directly out of the bottle with no need for mixing or thinning, while also pigmented enough to lay down in just one coat. We'll let it fully dry and then get out some Nuln Oil and apply that wash directly to the metal bits. With that done, so is Colin, and we can set him aside and get back to work on the Marauder proper. How much time do I need to fill? 5:44, 6:23. I think that might line up all right. So we're going to export voiceover 6. Voiceover 6. Done. Pow. There it is. Right in the kisser. It's long. It's too long. Let's just leave out this whole section right here. Pow to pow. Okay, talking head bit. Bow. All right, that's good enough. I'm not going to re-record that. I have a lot of work to do. That's about a third of the voiceover complete, though. We're making progress today. With that said, though, I need to stretch my butt and hit the restroom and maybe drink a cup of water. I'm a little dizzy. It ain't fun, but let's go ahead and bring up that BRB screen. And I will indeed BRB. All right, back in the corner. Let's try and get comfortable here and aligned to the mic. Audio test. Testing the audio. Seems all right. Okay, folks. Ooh, today's a weird day. Today's a very weird day. I'm feeling this illness coming on, and it's really poorly timed. I think I'm gonna have to give myself a probably have to do a COVID test. I think I have one left. I'm hoping it's not the case, but I was on public transit yesterday and I did not wear a mask. So and of course this crap is still going on. A good friend of mine just contracted it as well. It's kind of a nightmare. Any case, if you have caught this stream through the algorithm and you've sat through all my complaining and bitching, I want to thank you for your engagement. This here is a workflow live stream wherein I'm doing what I'm doing anyways. This is just the work that's getting done, regardless if I'm streaming it or not. And I am here to do that and provide it as some ancillary content for the channel. Plus, the workflow live stream, whether you're here live or you find it through the algorithm, this is actually the best space for you to put input into either what I'm working on currently, what I've worked on in the past, any of that stuff. I'll catch your comments down below, give them a read, and perhaps take them to heart, especially if you have good advice or feedback where I could improve to make your viewing experience all the better. That said, I think at this point we are roughly 30% done with the voiceover in its entirety. And what track am I dropping these in? I see that I have some voiceovers, some audio stuff coming up ahead that I need to not hit. So track 2 is audio. So let's go ahead and I should be able to shift this little bit right here. Yeah. This here can go up into track 1. And then, is this me talking? I think it's me talking. I need to do Chancy. Need to add some effect controls to this. Scale and rotation. All right, and then right here, and at the very end. Let's see. All right, so what I usually do for these guest palette things is you introduce it and then you zoom in and you twist on in and the Pokemon makes its noise. So I guess I forgot to add that. Alright, let's turn this into half a second. Alrighty! So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a very quick zoom in. 75, we'll do 80, we'll do 90, we'll do 100. I just realized I need to apply the position as keyframes as well. There we go. Pow pow. This position gets moved. Over here. Rotation gonna be, how much you think? 15%? A little too much. Well, let's go the other way. Let's go negative 15. This needs to be zoomed in like way far. Get rid of those. No. How do I make this work? I think what I need to do is get rid of those. Pow. And then get rid of these. Pow. And then we add 1, 2, and 3. Go to the end of the segment. Go back 1. This should be, what is it? 940, 560, 50%, rotation 0. And let's see if it, let's see how that looks now. Something weird happened there. 965 for it. That's what happened. 960 540. Birdie. Oh, it's so fun. Okay. All right. Well, that was a tangent, but it's edited now proper. Here we are. We're back to it. Time to start some more voiceover. You know, now that I'm looking at it here, I already apply a dull coat to the model. I apply a dull coat to the model already. Can I get away with not putting another dull coat here? Where was that at? Yeah, I guess it's... okay, I'll mention the dull coat again as a way to seal it in. Okay. Okay. We're going to say, to begin, to get started on the Marauder, once again, first we need to seal in the oil wash, preserving the state that it is in. This will not only... This is gonna involve putting a layer of Windsor and Newton acrylic matte UV varnish over top of the... Putting a layer over the entire surface of the model. Not only will the varnish lock in that oil, that grime wash, that grimy layer, protecting it from being moved around, as well as protecting future colors from contamination. But this varnish will also get rid of that super shiny gloss shellac that we applied earlier. We no longer need this finish and the varnish. This new matte coat will additionally provide will further provide an additional layer of protection against the paint rubbing off. Let's record that up, see how it goes. Oops, I just clicked the wrong program. I need to close it when it opens up. Taking its sweet time. I accidentally clicked Cura. It's not. Maybe it's not going to load. Okay. To get started on the Marauder once again, first we need to seal in that oil wash, preserving the state that it's in. This is going to involve putting a layer of Winsor & Newton acrylic matte UV varnish over the entire surface of the model. Not only will the varnish lock in that grimy layer, protecting it from being moved around as well as protecting future colors from contamination, but this varnish will also get rid of that super shiny gloss shellac that we applied earlier. We no longer need this finish, and the new matte coat will further provide an additional layer of protection against the paint rubbing off. That is a long-winded section, and we're just gonna roll with it. Voiceover 7. Pow. Oh, Cura opened up. I can close it now. Pull up Premiere. Drop in VoiceOver 7. Okay, and then we're talking about sponge chipping next. This is especially important because the next step will have us aggressively attacking the surface. I'm talking about sponge chipping, of course, where we're gonna take a chunk of extra foam from one of my army cases and apply a base color for some paint chips in a properly oxide tinted color. Simply get the tone you'd like for this and dip your roughened sponge into the mix. I cannot type mix. My head's itching. Simply get the tone you like for this and dip your roughened sponge into the mix, making sure to wipe away the majority of the paint onto a toss away surface like this paper towel. Much like dry brushing, now we'll take this paint imbued tool and jab at the surface in a semi-random pattern, in a semi-random fashion, applying the heaviest weathering to areas of raised edges or where panels meet. Really, this work is quite relaxing and can kinda half inform where the following layers need to go. Summoning our inner Bob Poss. Summoning it's easy to remember that there are, what's he say? Happy little accident? What's the actual quote? Happy accident Bob Ross quote. What does he actually say? No, we just have happy accidents. It's easy to remember. Fall into happy accidents which lead the work to where, which not only lead the work to exactly where it should go, but also serve, but also remind us to be happy while we're painting. Got to put that catchphrase in there. All right, let's try to record that there bit. This is especially important because the next step will have us aggressively attacking the surface. I'm talking about sponge chipping, of course, where we're going to take a chunk of extra foam from one of my army cases and apply a base color for some paint chips in a properly oxide tinted color. Simply get the tone you'd like for this and dip your roughened sponge into the mix, making sure to wipe away the majority of the paint onto a toss-away surface like the paper towel. Much like dry brushing, now we'll take this paint-imbued tool and jab at the surface in a semi-random fashion, applying the heaviest weathering to areas of raised edges or where panels meet. Really, this work is quite relaxing and can kinda half-inform where the following layers need to go. Summoning our inner Bob Ross, it's easy to fall into happy accidents, which not only lead the work to exactly where it should go, but also remind us to be happy while we're painting. Let's see where that ends up. Voiceover 8. There we go. Pop this up. Let's drop it in. See where it ends up. I think what I'm gonna do now is pop in an image of Mr. Ross's fro popping up. That's what we want. We want this image right here. Wait, ooh, that's a good one. Kind of hard to find a good shot. I'm trying to find an image of Mr. Ross smiling, looking real happy. But also of high enough fidelity to show up in the image. Let's see. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect. Let's pop open paint.net. Let's pop in the image I done found. Alright, so we're about to use this here image. Right here. 25. I'm gonna duplicate layer. No, delete those layers. Duplicate this layer. I just want his head to pop up in the frame for the briefest moment. Ooh, my neighbor banging. The wild thing about all this noise upstairs is, like, even if it wasn't happening at really awful times of night, like, 2 or 3 in the morning, and then lasting all day, even if it was just like reasonable construction noises, what's wild is that this noise has been occurring daily or semi-daily for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. Like, if this guy upstairs was doing a genuine construction project, I find it really hard to believe that it would take this long. Instead, I find myself believing that this man is in a meth-fueled binge of constructing and deconstructing things in his life in a noisy fashion. Lots of hammering, lots of sawing. Always at very inappropriate hours. Well, not always. I guess it's kind of an appropriate hour right now. What's the local time? 5:24 p.m. I think it would be somewhat acceptable to be doing construction at 5:24 in the evening. But the thing is, this guy was making construction noises at 3:45 in the morning today. Had me up. I'd like some relief from it. There's no relief to be had. Anyhow, I'm not in the stream to complain, but I am a complainer, and I am apt to complain. Alright, I don't know how much of this image I'm using, so I'm just padding my chances here, and this is all for a gag. But you know, this is how it happens. This is how these moments occur. These special humor injected moments happen. I simply said Bob Ross in my voiceover. So now Mr. Bob Ross needs to appear on my screen. You know, I have never actually tried a Bob Ross style painting. Seems like it could be a lot of fun, actually. Ironically, painting with miniatures, painting on miniatures and applying oil washes has made me really learn to love oil paint. And I think doing a mountain landscape a la Bob Ross's method could be a ton of fun. It'd be so good. So damn good. Alright, Mr. Ross, I don't know how much I'm using of your likeness here, but I'm indeed using your likeness. Such a good picture too. Nearly done, nearly done. This is all for a gag too. Isn't that wild? Taking time out of my workday to work some more on some silliness. Alright. There's an edge here needs to go. A little too dark. Alright. Now we're gonna select all this area. And then add some more to the selection, take some of that out. Nearly there. Nearly there. Nearly. See if I can't get this in one loop. I don't think I can. So we're just gonna get rid of that. There we go. Hold control, snag some more. much there. Okay. Select all, delete, paste, file. Actually, let's crop to selection, save as. Part 2, PNG this boy, call it Bob Ross. PNG, there we go. Flatten, yes sir. All right, now where do I actually say Bob Ross? Summoning our inner Bob Ross. It's going right there. Right there it is. Part 2 of Bob Ross. Bob Ross going in right here. Right here. And then he's gonna be off frame. Excuse me. Do a position, do a scale, do a rotation. Let's go forward 1 second. Position, scale, rotate. Position, select this. I should be able to I like that. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And yet so good. I need to adjust the position off the frame, I think. Yeah. That away. See what that looks like. And then we want to do do some rotation stuff. 5 degrees. Do another one right here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip it 1. Go 4. Maybe 10 with that one. 10 degrees with that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 1. 0. Why did it zoom out like that? Then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just see what that looks like. And let's and then we need the happy while you're painting to pop up. Where was it? Was it Edna? Textures with Edna? That had the happy while you're painting? Where was it? Tips. Where did I talk about tips? It was Painting a Force in One Day. I have somewhere a happy while you're painting, and I don't remember which video it was in. It might have been in Watson video. Yeah, there we go. Be happy while you're painting. Now, where do I actually say happy while you're painting? Yeah, we're gonna do this. Effect controls, scale 20%, 30%, opacity 50%, up in the corner, rotate it a bit. Come on, let me have the rotation tool. Like that. I'm gonna do 35% maybe? No. 25%. And then we'll call it 75%. Yeah, that's good. To be happy while you're painting. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go here. That's 0%. All right. There we go. That's some silliness. We've injected that special Country Fried Minis brand of silly nonsense. Huh, okay. I think we need some more wiggle waggle in that Mr. Ross there. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. Okay. You need to be over 7 degrees. What's going on with this thing? There's something weird happening with the positioning here. Yeah, it shouldn't. It still has some movement that shouldn't exist. This keeps happening with Premiere. If anybody's catching this through the algorithm and has some insight into why would I put 2 keyframes down and then the keyframes have additional movement in between, right? So like, okay. So 587 1120.1 to 589 1115, right? So that keyframe should only move like 2 pixels, but yet it has all this extra movement inside of it where there's no keyframes. There's no keyframes to have that movement. So let's just remove all 3 of those keyframes and put back down these keyframes. 587 1150. See how that looks now. It's doing weird stuff. Yeah, it's still doing like a weird movement in between keyframes. It's like it's doing motion of keyframes when there are no keyframes present to inform that movement. It moves. It's moving to a position that it shouldn't be moving to. I don't understand. So let's just do it again. 587. No, Jesus Christ. 587, 1150. I'm just going to hard force it to stay where I'm telling it to go. 1150. Like, why are you moving? Don't move. It goes up and then down again. It's not a movement that should be happening. Okay. Hopefully those extra keyframes fixed it. I like what's happening here. 493, 1299. $493.8. We'll call this 494. 494. We'll call this one 1300. 1300. Oh, look! There's movement where there shouldn't be any movement. Makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. Boom. 494. 1300. 1300. Like I said the first time. Alright, it looks like it's going to stay now. Okay. Let's give it a peek. All right, so I have that little pop-up that's happening on his palette, so I think I need to adjust that and get rid of it. Part 2, Bob Ross. Let's do a copy and a paste. Oh, you know what? I'll just copy this. This will go in my assets folder. Assets, new image, or new folder, images. Let's pop in a Bob Ross there. View, large icons. Excellent, excellent. Now, we need to open this in paint.net. I need this image to not have the palette on it open. So we're just gonna straight up get rid of that. Zal, file, save, yes sir. And then this should no longer have the little palette pop up. We do 100% there. Why is that struggling so bad? My computer can't handle rendering an image transparency. Ridiculous. Okay. All right, so from here, we're going to talk about with the sponge chipping. Good Lord, I can't type. With the sponge chipping complete, we can start to apply the next layers of brush chipping. Here's it, this tedious step yields the best results, but can definitely be exceedingly time consuming. I need to run into the restroom real quick and dig out my ear. It is itching. Something fierce. And I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, folks. My ears itch really bad sometimes, just like exceptionally bad. They don't clear their earwax very well, and I have a nice little tool for dealing with that. These scoops that they help. All right, so now I'm talking about brush chipping that follows the sponge chipping. So we do a layer of sponge chipping, then you go back with a brush, and it helps to you define the shapes and then add extra layers. In fact, that's what we're going to say. This, by going back over the sponged areas, we can make some decisions as to where to enhance the dimensionality of the chipping so far. This second lighter tone both adds depth to the previous work, but also serves to define the shape of the brushes in a more deliberate fashion. This tedious step yields the best results, but exceedingly time consuming. Alright. After going over the entirety of the model, adding in this lighter oxidized chipping color, we're gonna attack the surface yet again, only this time opting for some of the jet exhaust metallic tone we had out earlier. This is gonna really make the chips come to life, and we'll simply apply this silver color in such a way. We'll apply this silver color over the majority of the previous step, leaving a touch of the mid-tone around the edges, and then a further edge of the dark oxide sponge chipping still visible, with the 3 layers of chipping work present. Each of the areas we have chipped, we have weathered, look like the scratching has gone through multiple coats in a believable fashion. Though this work is hard to achieve on properly scaled battletech models, the opportunity to go all out with the chipping was not to be squandered on this 28mm scale Marauder. Alright, let's give that a go. Let's see how that works. With the sponge chipping complete, we can start to apply the next layers of brush chipping. By going back over the sponged areas, we can make some decisions as to where to enhance the dimensionality of the chipping so far. This second, lighter tone adds depth to the previous work, but also serves to define the shape of the brushes. I wrote of the brushes and not chips. Of the chips so far. Also, I'm glad I stopped because shithead upstairs is moving his furniture around again. With the sponge chipping complete, we can start to apply the next layers of brush chipping. By going back over the sponged areas, we can make some decisions as to where to enhance the dimensionality of the chipping so far. This second, lighter tone adds depth to the previous work, but also serves to define the shape of the chips in a more deliberate fashion. This tedious step yields the best results, but can definitely be exceedingly time-consuming. Still, after going over the entirety of this model, adding in this lighter oxidized chipping color, we're going to attack the surface yet again, only this time opting for some of the jet exhaust metallic tone we had out earlier. This is going to really make the chips come to life, and we'll simply add this silver color all over the majority of the previous step. God damn, I fucked it up. Can I just read the script. Just read the script. Don't add in words, just read the fucking script. However, is well worth the effort. This tedious step yields the best results, but can be exceeding time consuming. With each pass taking up time measured in hours rather than minutes. That said, it looks great and is well worth the trouble on a display model such as this. Damn, I can't type. With the sponge chipping complete, we can start to apply the next layers of brush chipping. By going back over the sponged areas, we can make some decisions as to where to enhance the dimensionality of the chipping so far. This second, lighter tone adds depth to the previous work, but also serves to define the shape of the chips in a much more deliberate fashion. This tedious step yields the best results, but can definitely be exceedingly time consuming, with each pass taking up time measured in hours rather than minutes. That said, it looks great and is well worth the trouble on a display model. So, god damn, dude, can I fucking shit? That said, it looks great and is well worth the trouble on a display model such as this. After going over the entirety of the model, adding in this lighter, why do I have a comma there? After going over the entirety of this model, adding in the lighter, god damn, I'm just dumb. I'm so dumb. That said, it looks great and is well worth the trouble on a display model such as this. After going over the entirety of the model, adding in this lighter oxidized chipping color, we're going to attack the surface yet again, only this time we're opting for some of the jet exhaust metallic tone we had out earlier. This is really going to make the chips come to life, and we'll simply add this silver color over the majority of the previous step, leaving a touch of the mid-tone around the edges and then a further edge of the dark oxide sponge chipping still visible. With the 3 layers of chipping work present, each of the areas we have weathered look like the scratching has gone through multiple coats in a very believable fashion. Though this work is hard to achieve on properly scaled battletech models, the opportunity to go all out with the chipping was not to be squandered on this here 28mm scale Marauder. Good lord. Good lord, getting through this is rough. Today's rough. I have a headache. I have a headache, folks. I'm getting sick. Getting sick very quickly. I feel it in my throat and my nose, and I'm dizzy with a headache. But the work must go on. I have too much to do to not be working. Okay. It is definitely affecting my ability to think and to stay calm. So I apologize for that. Holy moly. I gotta get rid of a lot of this. Let's see. Wait a second. Okay, I just got to redo that whole thing. Okay. I have. How much time to do this in? I have. Boy, 7 minutes and 7 minutes and something. 7:53 to 8:38. I actually only have 35 seconds. 40 seconds. Delete all of this. Pow! Good thing I got so upset about that script not working. Let's just do that. Let's see how that works. With the sponge chipping complete, we can start to apply the next layers of brush chipping. By going back over the sponged areas, we can make some decisions as to where to enhance the dimensionality of the chipping so far. This tedious step yields the best results, but can definitely be exceedingly time consuming, with each pass taking up time measured in hours rather than minutes. That said, it looks great, and it's well worth the trouble on a display model such as this. With the 3 layers of chipping work present, each of the areas we've weathered look like the scratching has gone through multiple coats in a very believable fashion. Though this work is hard to achieve on a properly scaled battletech model, the opportunity to go up... Okay, I can't put that last part. Let's just get rid of you, pal. Export MP3 voiceover 9. Let's just do, yep, boop. Replace, come into here, get rid of you. It's too fast now. Good lord. Passing through. Paint and primer on down to the bare nip. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's make it work. Let's make it work. Where are we at? We want to add in with the 3 layers. Beep, beep, bop, beep. I clicked. With the 3 layers of chipping work present, Each of the areas we have weathered look like the scratching has gone through multiple coats in a believable fashion. Passing through praint is how you say paint. Praint is how you read that word. With the 3 layers of chipping work present, each of the areas we have weathered look like the scratching has gone through multiple coats in a very believable fashion, passing through paint and primer on down to the bare metal. Nope. See, I screwed up because I didn't delete the rest of the script. And now I was about to talk over it and have an improper transition between those 2 sentences. With the 3 layers of tripping work present. See, the problem is, folks, I read with my eyes in my mind about 5 times as fast as I can speak. And I just read extra consonants from words that are like 6 or 7 before what I'm actually reading out. So I just stumble over my lines over and over and over and over. With the 3 layers of chipping work present, each of the areas we have weathered look like the scratching has gone through multiple coats in a very believable fashion, passing through paint and primer on down to bare metal. I bet that's even too long. File, export, MP3, voiceover 9. Jesus Christ, click where I'm telling you to click. Plus, again, I feel that I'm getting sick. I feel it coming on. It's affecting my ability to think. It's affecting my cognitive function. This is not long enough now. Alright, the script needs to change. I need to fill in another like 4 seconds. Despite taking an extra 6 hours on the project. Despite adding an extra 6 hours to the project. That said, where's that said? Where's that said? Play. We need to, first off, select all this. Listen to the guy rev his motor as he drives by, because he needs attention. That said, it looks great, and it's well worth the trouble on a display model such as this. Despite that's how I was reading the word adding. That said, it looks great and it's well worth the trouble on a display model such as this, despite adding an extra 6 hours to the project. Jesus fucking Christ. This has turned into an unbearable slog. This is not a pleasant stream. Alright, getting the work done though. We're making progress forward. I still need to add like 5 seconds to it. How is it still? Christ. Christ, why? I don't understand. I put that extra sentence in and it was like 10 seconds too long, and then I took it away and it's like 5 seconds too short. By incorporating a lighter oxide color and then an additional layer of silver chips. This is taking too much work. This what, 30-second spread. This is taking way too much work. I'm losing sanity on this. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. By going back over the sponged areas, we can make some decisions as to where to enhance the dimensionality of the chipping so far by incorporating a lighter oxide color and then an additional layer of silver chips. Get rid of that, paste this in, file, export again, voiceover 9. The fun is gone from this moment of the project. I'm not having fun. Now, how much of that is, I have to wonder how much of that is the dizziness and headache coming in. All right, there we go. Now that the model is covered in a multi-layered chipping effect, it's time to get out the dirty down rust effect and apply some extra weathering. Of course, it's exceedingly important to shake this stuff up. What is this clown doing upstairs? It's like the guy rearranges his furniture every day. Every day. Every single day. I'm losing my mind here. I genuinely hate my upstairs neighbor. I genuinely hate them. I hate this person. I hate this person so much. They're denying me sleep. This is a call for help. If any of you see here in the algorithm, and anybody of you have advice of dealing with a troublesome neighbor that makes exceedingly loud noise all hours of the day and night, please let me know in the comments down below if you have any advice dealing with these awful people. Digressing. Back to work. And while we work on that shaking, let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor. Okay. Beep beep bop beep bop bop bop. Delete the thing. Here we go. Now that the model is covered in a multi-layered chipping effect, it's time to get out the dirty down rust effect and apply some extra weathering. Of course, it's exceedingly important to shake this stuff up thoroughly to get the best results. And while we work on that there shaking, let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor. I think that's too long. I think I've waffled on too long. I have 38 to 45. That's the math don't check out there. Now that the model is covered in a multi-layered chipping effect, it's time to get out the dirty down rust effect and apply some extra weathering. We'll just need to shake this extremely thoroughly, but while we do that, let's talk about today's sponsor. I still went like 5 seconds over. Jesus Christ. Shaking it. Now that the model is covered in a multi-layered chipping effect, it's time to get out the dirty down rust effect, shaking it extremely thoroughly while we talk about today's sponsor. Christ, that was rough. See if that fits. Even that is too long. Jesus Christ, why? Why did I leave a second? Like, I've done this nice clean 5-second spread on all this stuff. Now that the model is chipped, it's time to get out the dirty down rust, shaking it extremely thoroughly while we talk about today's sponsor. Yes. Stop. 7 seconds. It better fit. Jesus Christ. Sometimes when I click my mouse, it don't respond. I don't know why. I don't know why. But yeah, sometimes when I click the mouse on this, especially doing this, it just don't do nothing. I have to click it again. right, let's kick this back another, like right there. I just had to click that twice to get it to respond. Okay, Aries ad goes in. Made not much progress at all. I'm now only halfway through this voiceover. It's taking way too long to get this done while I have an increasingly rough headache. So in that regard, I think I'm actually going to call the stream today, folks. If you have managed to somehow sit through this stream session, my head hurts. My neighbor is loud. I'm getting sick. You're witnessing a man on the edge losing his mind. And honestly, I just don't think I'm providing interesting or entertaining content at this point. So, I'm going to continue to work behind the scenes and have this video out for y'all as soon as possible. If you have happened to have found this here stream on the algorithm, I want to thank y'all for your viewership. It is much appreciated. And of course, go ahead and toss comments down below if you have any advice. If you have any comments, questions, whatever, I'll get to it below. This here workflow live stream is a place where I'm just doing the work that I'm going to do anyways, but provided in a fashion where people can come and hang out and see what's going on. At this point, we're approaching 4 hours of work, and I am getting sick. I feel it in my voice and my head, and I'm pretty dizzy. So I don't want to keep up the pretense of being able to focus and work. I've noticed I've lost my temper a few times during this here stream, and I'd like to avoid doing that, though these raw emotions are part of the territory. So, as always, I want to thank y'all for your time, and I want you to remember to be happy while you're painting. That's all I got for you today, folks. Check back real soon for the completed video, and perhaps we'll get another shorts stream going in the near future. Anyhow, take it easy.